No requests? I feel that yawn. I'm with you on that. Shoulders? Okay. Anyone else? Some quads up? Okay. Okay. Some quads. Maybe we'll go quad stretch up the wall today, maybe. We could play that, one of the holy grails. And we can play, let's play a couple different shoulder openers, maybe a bind or two here and there if you want to play with it that way. We'll kind of see where it goes. All right, take a nice seat, close the eyes, sit up nice and tall. This is that part of the practice, right? Where we say things like, turn to your breath or turn inward. Turn into your breath means you just want to bring an intention to it. You want to focus on it a little bit. What's happening to it? We don't have to think about our breath, right? It happens. Subconscious. So if we put a little intention to it, we can start using it in different ways. We start recognizing what's going on and sharpening it up. And that's what we do throughout our whole practice, right? We sharpen things up. Knowing almost all of your practices, they're beautiful. They're not the Yoga 101 cue. You know how the front toes should be facing straight ahead and the back toes turn forward a little bit. It's about finding those deeper alignment cues. Finding those little pieces that we could put together to just tighten the whole thing up. Sometimes you hear me say like the detail. I've been using a lot of these like do-it-yourself home, terms lately, and you got to do some finish work, right? That's supposed to be the idea. You want to get it set up, and you want the bones to be strong, so that then you can play with the pose. How do we make the bone strong? Well, we take a breath, we set a foundation, we engage. Now we got a structure that we can play with. And then the expansion part of it, the bend, the reach, the twist, the fold, whatever it might be, that's the part that we shine a little further, or we polish up a little bit. So we hold on to everything, and as we express, it's the best that we can, because if something crumbles, we got to unwind a little bit. We got to shore up the structure, and then we could express again. Next inhale, let your arms lift. Let the exhale bring the fingertips and the knuckle pads to root as the heels of the hands lightly touch. As now the breath goes to that space between our palms. Push your hands together. Use that little bit of feedback to sit up taller. You could feel that energy run up the arms and into the shoulders and the chest and the upper back, like there's a string from the heels of your hands to your sternum, your breastplate, the center of your chest. Let it lift you up. And as we go from listening to ourselves breathe through slowing down the beginning of the inhale and pushing more on the end of the exhale to counting out the breath, 2 or 3 seconds for the inhale, 2 or 3 seconds for the exhale, all the way up to Ujjayi, where we let the air rebound off the back of the throat. And one time together to initiate our practice. Together, the sound of Om. Deep breath in. Beautiful. As we softly bow.
Now, head to our hearts. Our heads to each other's hearts. Inhale.
Lift the head, open the eyes, release the hands. All right, let's start out child's pose. So toes touch, knees are wide. Arms are up overhead. Claw the floor. Get heavy underneath those fingertips and the knuckle pads. You know, I use this as a little more, we use downward dog for a few different things. One of them's to rest, right, to chill. This is a little more active downward child's pose. So when you claw the floor and you hug your hands into the midline, you should start to feel energy come up the arms. And then lift the forearms up and lift the inner biceps up, and then slide your head and throat back off the mat. And then soften your chest just a little bit here. And as you look forward, walk the hands to the right side. Root that left sit bone to the left heel, and then peel up that left side body. Getting that QL right above the pelvis. Spinal erectors running up the spine. Lats on the outside. Middle, like upper part that attaches to your humerus, your arm bone. Inhale, come back to center, soften down the middle. And then when you're ready, walk your hands towards the left. This time feeling that right side open up. Intercostal muscles are the muscles between your ribs. But remember, split from the waist is going to go back. That's why you're rooting the sit bones to the heels. And then from the waist is going forward and then taking this side bend. And then inhale, come back to center. Soften down the middle. Next inhale, come up. Exhale, soften the pelvis. Inhale, push back up. Exhale, push back. Inhale, come forward. Soften the pelvis. Inhale, push back up. Exhale, push back. Keep it going. We'll do 5 of these. Stay with the belly button and stay with the shutters closed here. Link in the breath to movement. So if it's 2 seconds for that inhale, how long you're going to come forward. 2 seconds is how long you're going to soften, right? Push back up. So the breath, we've been talking about this the past couple weeks, the breath creates that rhythm, that tempo. Now, this is my last one. So when you're done with your last one, we'll meet back in that child's pose. Right? You've been hearing me tell y'all, like, it's like you're moving in slow motion. That's how it should be, because 2 seconds, let's just say it takes 2 seconds to inhale, that's a long time. Doesn't seem like long, and in some instances it's not, but when we're moving our body, 2 seconds is a lot of time for us to adjust. Next inhale, come up, all fours, hands and knees. Hands an inch or two in front of your shoulders, knees an inch or two behind your hips. Pointer fingers are straight forward or turned out a little bit. Make sure your hands are at least shoulders width apart. If we need a little more space, we can go a little bit wider, but we don't want to go any narrower because we're going to lose the power. Then start to claw the floor and start to hug the hands in. There's that energy running up the arms again. This time, bring a little more intention to squeezing your biceps, these muscles. It's going to start to lock in this elbow joint. Curl the toes, sweep the inner heels out, hug the shins in. So right now, I'm pulling lots of energy into my body here, right? Lots of foundation. Belly's in, shutters are closed. Head and throat back, chin to chest just a little bit so your gaze, where you're looking, is right across your fingertips. And now breathe. Feel the ribs start to open in all directions. Think like a cylinder. Front to back, top to bottom, side to side. And then when you're ready, work your cat-cow. Inhale, arch the back, lift the sit bones, reach through the crown of the head. Exhale, round the back, look to your belly, lengthen those sit bones towards your heels. Your inhale, arch. Your exhale, round. That's linking the breath to movement. Simple as that, right? If you count it out, you'll have that timing. And then you can use that timing to move through the postures. Let's go one more. Take your time, move on your pace. We'll meet back in that low mountain, that flat back. And y'all hear me tell you every time, right? I don't ask you to do this because it's easy. This is what wants to happen. Your belly wants to dump to the floor like this. So you got to draw that belly in a little bit, sit bones towards your heels. See how I'm nice and solid here? Now take a couple breaths. Bring the right hand behind your head. Inhale, take that elbow to the sky. Exhale is going to take it across to the eye of the opposite elbow. Inhale, take it to the sky. Exhale, take it across the body. So now we're starting to work through the twist. Let's get 5. The idea is that as you're drawing your hand towards your head, you're pushing your head back into your hand. And then after your 5, lower that right hand down, take a breath, bring the left hand behind your head. When you're ready, take the elbow to the sky. Now, as you're taking that left elbow to the sky, drive the left knee down into the mat. Remember, move slow. It's not really like you're trying to move in slow motion. It's just that you're staying with your breath. And then after that last one, lower the hand down. We'll meet back in that low mountain. Nice, y'all. Good pace. It's easy to go fast, right? And we all want to go fast. But that's not linking the breath to movement, right? And that's the difference between yoga and maybe some other modalities that we do. Take a breath, step back to plank. Shoulders are on top of the wrist crease, and you're reaching out of your heels. So if your feet are like this right now, you're too long. We got to be this way. Dorsiflexion. Yep, now lift the hips, come to downward dog. First one, we can bend the knees. Like we did before, hug those hands in, let those forearms lift up and those inner biceps lift up. Pull that belly in, close those shutters. Slide the head and the throat back so your cheeks or your ears are in line with your biceps because your chin's going to try to fall to the middle of the mat. We don't want that. Now push your hands down and forward and take your chest back towards your toenails. Now pull your heels to your butt and pedal your heels. Right heel down, inhale, lift it up. Exhale the left down. Inhale it up. Notice, are the feet staying parallel, or when you're pedaling, are the heels falling to the midline? We want them to stay parallel. Are the knees collapsing to the midline? Another common tendency. Don't let them. Let them track where they should be going. Second toe, middle of the ankle, the knee, the hip. One more each side. And then come to a neutral position. Inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, baby cobra. Take 3 nice breaths. So tack those toenails flat. Pull your belly forward. You could stay as low as you want or come up as high as you want, whatever your flavor is. But squeeze those shoulders back and down. And then lower the chest. Push up through plank. Back to downward dog. Reach the right leg straight back. Step it through, lunge. Blocks or fingertips, whatever your flavor is. Front knee on top of the ankle and in line with the second toe. So see, the knee might be trying to blow in a little bit like this. So you're going to widen it out. And there's that track on the second toe. It might be trying to blow out the side like this. So you got to hug it in a little bit. Square that left hip forward and down a touch. Now keep the power in the legs. Pull the power up through the core. So from the pelvic floor, right up through the belly, through those shutters. Keep it going. Right through the heart, the throat's back. Gaze is looking out front. Reach up out of the crown of your head. And exhale, lower the back knee. Drag the knee forward. Inhale the arms in front. Take them up. All the way overhead. Pull the belly in and pull those shutters closed. Then let that right hand grab the left wrist. Inhale goes up. Exhale takes that little side bend. But keep pulling those shutters closed. That's going to be the magic here. And as you drag the back knee forward, keep the top of the thigh rooting back. Don't lose that pelvic floor. Don't lose that belly. Don't lose those shudders. Take the head and the throat back. Take the arms back. One more breath. And then inhale, come up. Exhale, the hands down. Shift the hips back. Come to baby Hanuman. Runner stretch. You can move this front knee back a little bit just to make it a little more comfortable. If it feels better to stay here where you started, this is like the runner stretch. If you want to move it back a little bit, it's okay. If you need to pad your knee, you could either use your blanket or roll your mat over like this. And then you'll have double the thickness on your knee. Now, hug the big toe mountain. It's going to try to fall this way. So keep hugging in this way. You'll see your kneecap and your toes are now pointing straight up to the sky. Push that front heel down and pull it back to you. Pull the kneecap up to your waist. It's going to try to push to the floor. That's hyperextension. Don't let that happen. Square that left hip forward. Look forward. Now go ahead and fold to the inside of that right thigh. And then as you inhale, look forward, bend into that lead knee, lift the back knee, downward dog. Nice, y'all. Inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, lower, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, baby cobra. Take those 3 nice breaths. But shoulders go back and down away from your ears. And then after the 3 breaths, back to chaturanga or lower your chest. Push up through plank. Back to downward dog. Reach the left leg straight back. Step it through. Lunge. Put that weight into the legs, right? Fingers are just to give the contact here, or hands. When you push down into that front heel, like rip it back, like you're pulling the front heel back towards your back toes. Just like on the back foot, the back toes are pulling forward to the front heel. And then that right hip comes forward and down a little bit. We work that core, so from pelvic floor right up through the top of the ab. Slide the head and the throat back. And as you reach back out of the heel, forward out of the front knee, forward out of the crown of the head, even out to the sides. And then exhale, lower the back knee. See, right away I start dragging my knee forward. As I come up, I plug the arms and then they go all the way overhead. And as they're going up, pull those shutters closed because it's going to try to blow open. When you pull your shutters closed, you get that lift through the thoracic spine. That's what we want. Then let the left hand grab that right wrist. The inhale goes up and the exhale goes just a little bit to the side. Then we do it all again. We push down, we hug in, we pull all that power up, we reach whatever angle you're on, we reach up, and then we go a little deeper into pose. And we do it again, each breath. We're not moving inches of space, right? We're moving microns of space, but we want it all because it all adds up to a lot at the end. One more breath. The inhale, come up, exhale the hands down, flip those blocks, shift the hips back. Seesaw, right? We talk about seesaw effect all the time. If I push this down, tib, fib have to come up. So the way to keep your knee from hyperextending, keep pushing your heel down into the mat. And when you push down, it'll make this bend. Now square that right hip forward and down, look forward. So we're rooting from the waist down into the mat, but we're peeling from the waist up. And now we're going to fold into the pose. Try not to crunch at your belly. Try to hinge at your hip crease, right? Hip hinge, that's a human movement. Crunching at our belly is a misalignment. So you got to work your upper back in order to not crunch your belly. You want to work like between your shoulder blades, north to south, so from your head to your butt. And as you extend the spine, it'll keep you hinging here at the hip crease, not here at the belly. And then inhale, look forward, bend into that lead knee, place the hands down, lift the back knee, downward dog. Inhale, come forward to plank, work on your breath, not my voice. Exhale, lower, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, baby cobra. Last time with the 3 breaths. All right, we've been talking about this. We're doing this to activate the upper back, to peel the front chest. and then back to chaturanga. Those are areas that are over tightened and deficient. We'll push back to downward dog. Look forward, bend your knees, step or jump between your hands, swing your arms up, take a nice big reach. Draw that belly and lengthen those sit bones down. Take the right hand behind your back, left hand to your elbow. Heels are rooted, inner thighs are back, sacrum is back. Ribs. Now push your head back into your forearm. Yeah, and use that force feedback to now stand up straight. And then draw the fingers up. Yep. Exhale, release. Inhale the arms up. Swap side two. This is better
Here at my hip.
than this. So if you lean forward, that's okay. Because you can use, see from the side, right arm thighs back. Then as I come up, I'm going to push my head back, and I'm going to use that resistance to work the muscles in my upper back without taking my hip out of alignment. That's a deep thought, right? It's not Yoga 101. Exhale, release. Inhale the arms up. Exhale your hands behind your back. But we just talked about that, right? We're not Yoga 101. We're trying to get a little deeper in our poses. So before you pull your shoulders back, fill the ribs. Yep, now exhale, take the shoulders back. And you could even take the hands away from your back. That's how it runs up the arms. And keep breathing here. The engagement, the way to keep everything engaged, is like you're trying to pull your hands apart isometrically. I'm not pulling them apart, but that's the action. And then with that, I can start to even work away. And then exhale, release. Sit back as the knees bend, swing the arms up, big reach. Draw the belly, lengthen those sit bones down. That's going to puff up the low back. Now curl back. Inhale, come up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold. Right hand to the outside of the left shin or calf. Left hand to either your fingertips, your block, your hip. Some of you like to take your arms up like this. Go forward if that's where you want to be. Inhale, come back to center. Swap side two. Maybe even start to look up towards the ceiling. Inhale, come back to center. Next inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold. That little look forward, that's to extend the spine, to root down into the feet, to fire up the foundation, to engage, to make space. And then we can fold deeper into the pose. Sit back as the knees bend, swing the arms up, big reach. Draw the belly, lengthen the sit bones, maybe curl back. Inhale, come up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, place the hands, step or jump back, downward dog. Stay with your breath. Inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, lower, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, baby cobra. Exhale, lower, back to chaturanga, or lower your chest, push up through plank, back to downward dog 2 more times. So flow through a little bit here. Remember, keep it slow. We'll meet back in downward dog. Nice, y'all. Beautiful. From downward dog, reach the right leg straight back. Step it through, lunge. Walk the hands to the inside of that right foot, spin the back heel down. Now stick your butt back on the left side. We're going to root the thigh back. Now hold it there. Climb the elbow to the knee. Yeah, we're going to extended side angle. Plug the arm. And see, now we got this rooted back. Plug it in, sweep it up. Hold it there. Yeah. See, now you might be leaning forward. We talked about this one last week. Pull the belly button back first. All right, here first. Now start to go sit bone to heel and open the knee out. You want to take the hand down to the block or the floor, take it down. Yep. Breathe. Inhale, come up, warrior two. Hands go behind the back, interlace the fingers, bow to the inside of that right thigh. Humble warrior. Look to the front left corner of your mat. Keep the power in the legs. Keep the spine long. That's why you're looking forward. Then pull the hands apart isometrically like we just talked about, and then maybe take them up overhead. Exhale the hands down to the floor. Spin the back heel up. Step back. Downward dog. Nice, y'all. Reach the left leg straight back. Step it through. Lunge. Now walk your hands to the inside of that left foot, sorry. Right heel to the floor. Stick your butt back on the right side. Feel the thigh. Watch the thigh go back. Then climb the elbow to the knee. Then plug the right arm in. Then sweep the bicep up along the cheek. Yeah. Nice, y'all. Way to hold on to that. If that right hip and the right thigh dumped forward, stick your butt back again. Your left knee might fall in when you do that because we're stretching these muscles. But remember, we got tricks for that, right? We're going to pull the belly button in. We're going to lengthen the sit bone towards the heel or sweep your heel towards the brick wall. That'll open the knee out, like towards the wall with the window and the door. One more breath. Now push into that front heel. Inhale, come up to that warrior two. If your left pinky was under this time, right pinky. Look towards the front right corner of your mat. See how long my spine is? Now I can hinge at the hip crease. Then I can pull my hands apart, which makes the energy run up the arms, and then I can even start to take them up overhead. Whatever feels good to you in your pose. And now breathe. One more breath. Release the hands down to the floor. Spin that back heel up. Downward dog. Inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, lower, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, baby cobra. Exhale, lower back to chaturanga or lower your chest. Push up through plank. Back to downward dog. Exhale, lower your knees. Sit back on your heels. Vajrasana, child's pose, whatever feels good to you. If you're in Vajrasana, you can go Yana Mudra, which is where your thumb and your pointer finger touch. And you let the heels of your hand rest here at the crease of your hip and your fingers drape over your thighs. And you can close your eyes. Full breath in, complete breath out. Light little quad stretch. Everybody inhale, come up, wiggle your toes. And then curl your toes, sit back again for a few more breaths. Opening up the arches in the feet, opening up the joints, the toes. That's why this is intense, right? We're taking these things into extension. This is stretching your toes. Inhale, come up, open the eyes, release the hands. All fours, hands and knees. While we're here, turn the hands out. That little stretch through the forearms, through the biceps, through the chest, right? So this goes into the shoulder. These are muscles that your bicep does. It's what it'll do when it's tight is it will do this. It attaches to your scapula, so it will do this. It will hike this up and it'll make the shoulder round. The pec attaches to your humerus. It's going to do this. It's responsible for internal rotation or abduction. So now you get all this, right? This looks familiar. I'm being a little dramatic, right? But this is this, right? All this shit, we got to get all this to go back this way. Just like this is too much, right? This is not enough. It's finding that sweet spot. Inhale, unwind, sit back on the heels, give that little spin. Inhale, come up. Exhale, hands down, all fours. Take a breath. When you're ready, step back to plank, downward dog. Reach the right leg straight back, step it through, lunge. Exhale, lower the back knee. We're going to go lizard, and then we can get that twisted monkey quad stretch, all right? So first with lizard, we're going to walk our right foot out towards the edge of the mat. We could even turn the toes open that little bit. It's going to make it a little more accessible here. Now, the pose isn't symmetrical, all right? Your left hip is lower than your right. But the common tendency is that when you go down, the hip wants to dump like this. And now you got to build this shit all back up, right? And that's going to be a lot of work. So bring the intention to lowering your inside arm, your right. Yeah. Now let the left come to meet. It'll just put more energy on that front leg side and help you lower down without losing the hip. Yep. Your block would definitely be your friend. Now keep dragging that back knee forward. Keep hugging the knee in. If the knee is going to do this and blow out the side, walk your foot out a little bit wider. Now you really want to open up the front of that left thigh, lift the back knee. Yep. Work the upper back. Watch how that changes the pose. Now keep that. Reach out of your back heel, so back heel to the back wall. Pull your front heel back to you and reach the knee forward. You're going to feel the back of the leg opening up. One more breath. Now lower the knee if it's up. Inhale, come up halfway. Bend your left knee, reach back with your right hand. Grab your ankle, your foot, or your strap. This is my favorite quad stretch. Walk your left hand forward so your thumb's in line with your big toe and have it towards the side of your mat. It might even be off your mat. You're going to use it as a kickstand. Now turn the bicep forward and curl into the upper back. Now the right side of the chest is opening up, so we got that twist. Now keep dragging the back knee forward and now draw the heel towards the sit bone, and there's that big quad stretch. But see, you're not dumping into the front of that left thigh because you're dragging that left knee forward. So we're able to keep the integrity of the foundation, and now we can play with the extension of both the twist and the quad stretch. We're going to hold this for a few more breaths. Big opener here in the front of that thigh. Ooh, man. Now watch the Boeing as you release. Inhale, come back to center. Wiggle that foot back in. Go slow. Lift the knee, step back, downward dog. Pedal a little bit, swivel, feel the difference side to side. It's noticeable. Then come to neutral. Reach the left leg straight back. Step it through, lunge. And then lower the back knee. Walk that left foot out towards the left edge of your mat. When you're ready, this time that little trick would be to lower your left arm first. Yep. If you can lower them both at the same time, go for it. But if it feels like it helps you a little bit, why wouldn't we want to do it, right? We're going to try to make this as efficient and optimal as possible, right? We work hard for this stuff. So when things can go our way a little easier, we want it. See, here's that action. I'm pulling my heel back to me. Seesaw says if I pull this way, low on my leg, the top of my leg has to go that way, right? And that's the action. That's how you clear this front hip crease, even though it's in deep flexion. You want to lift the back knee, go for it. So you even want to find organic expansion in places that are closed. Otherwise, it just turns into a collapse into that joint. And it's not. It's supposed to be like properly stabilizing. That's some deep shit, right? But that's how the whole game works. Your body's a game. You just got to figure out how to play it, right? When you figure out how to play it, man, it runs strong. When you play it the wrong way, right, it does not. Lower the back knee if it's up. Inhale, come up. Bend your right knee, reach back with your left hand. Grab your ankle, your foot, or your strap. Walk your right hand forward so your thumb's in line with your big toe. That makes the side body long. Now make sure you're not collapsing into the front of that right thigh. So drag the right knee forward. Here we go. Start to open the chest. Now start to draw the heel towards the sit bone. Sides might be different. Now for the shoulder, keep turning the bicep forward. Yeah, and then you're gonna root the shoulder back. See, this is the shoulder forward. I gotta go this way. Shoulder back. And then pull that heel towards that sit bone even a little bit further maybe. We're gonna stay here for a few more breaths. Big quad opener here, nice twist. But don't lose the belly, don't lose the shudders, don't lose reaching up out of the crown of the head. One more breath. And then watch the buoying as you release. Inhale, come back to center. Wiggle the foot in, lift the back knee, downward dog. Nice, y'all. Pedal, swivel, wiggle a little bit. Feel that balance come around. Come to neutral. Roll to the outside of the right foot, stack the left foot on top or in front, come in a side plank. Here's another one, right? We just talked about this. Turn the bicep forward to root into the upper back. Push out of the big toe mounds. Maybe take that arm overhead towards the front of the room. Take it back up to the sky. Inhale, come back to center. Push back, downward dog. Take a breath. Here, I'll show you the back side of the shoulder. Roll to the outside of the left foot, inside of the right. So see, here's where I'm at. I'm turning that bicep forward, and I'm rooting into that upper back. Maybe the hand goes up towards the sky. Strong in the arm, strong in those legs. Breathe. Maybe take the arm towards the front of the room. Feel that whole right side body open up. Take it back up to the sky. Inhale, come back to center. Push back, downward dog. Reach the right leg straight back. Step it through, pigeon. Yep, right knee nice and wide, left knee in line with your hip. Now energize this pose up. So we push out of the big toe. That's why I tend to put my foot like this, or my hand on my foot. If you'll notice, like I'm always like this in this pose. To start out, it's because I'm pushing like this. And I get that little bit of feedback as I push my hand into my foot. Now I can push my foot in my hand, and I start to activate this foot a little more like a point, a flex point. Now pull that front knee back and the back knee forward. I know a lot of you like to fold, so pull the pelvic floor up. See, at any moment I could do this. That's how much power I got in this pose, in the foundation. Now I find the freedom in the fold. Yeah. When you fold, hinge at your hip crease. This would be me hinging at my belly. See, now my belly's crunched. I want to get this neutral, so I want to look out here. You could be in forearms like this. You just want to keep working that upper back between the shoulder blades, north to south, like we talked about, so extending the spine. Now here's a little trick to go deeper. Take that hand on the foot again. Push like a gas pedal and hug in, so pull your front knee back and your back knee forward. Now lift your front knee up just an inch or two and move it back. Now hug in again. Lift your back knee up. Move it back an inch or two. Yep, and then come back to your fold. And now you're deeper in the back of that hip and down the back of the leg. That's the easier way to extend the pose as compared to like trying to pull your shin up parallel with the front of the mat. Couple more breaths. And then inhale, come up, place the hands, take a breath. When you're ready, lift the hips, unwind that right leg, reach it back to where the ceiling and the wall meet. And exhale, lower it down. Take a breath. Reach the left leg straight back. Step it through, pigeon. Work from the root all the way up. Keep hugging in. Remember, tons of power here in the legs. And then if you want to fold, go ahead and fold. Fold and collapse, though, two different definitions, right? We don't want to collapse to the floor. We want to control it. Then that little trick was, if you need to move the pose a little bit further, you take your hand to your foot, you come up just a little bit, and you push like a gas pedal, and then you hug your knees in front to back. Then lift the front knee up, move it back an inch or two, re-hug in, so we always go in before we go out. Then move the back knee back an inch or two. Then hug back in, and then go ahead and go into that fold if you want. Or back into that fold. And we're all here, back of the hip, down the back of the leg here. Working the foot is what's protecting your knee. So you got to keep pushing like on that gas pedal. And you got to keep hugging those shins into the midline so like your bottom shin's reaching towards the sky kind of, right? Like that's the action. The back shin's hugging into the midline. But that's just to keep the power in the legs, keep the joint safe. And then inhale, come up, place the hands. Lift the hips, unwind that left leg, reach it back to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Exhale, lower that leg. Look forward, bend your knees, step or jump between your hands, swing your arms up, take a big reach. Exhale, hands in front, Anjali Mudra. All right, grab your mats, find a spot on the wall. We're gonna go quad stretch first, and then we'll go inversions. So give yourself some space. Home crew, if you don't have the wall to bring your foot up on, you can always, same shape, okay, would be here. But we'll have our foot up the wall, okay? But you can be here, side view, right? Same pose. I don't really have the wall here to stay on the mat, so I'm just gonna kind of like show y'all with the screen. I won't be putting too much pressure back there, but you're gonna push your foot into the wall, okay? You wanna flick your toenails into the wall. I'm just gonna kind of make the shape to stay with y'all because this isn't solid really, okay? But I'll be here with you, kind of. So you have a couple different ways to get into this. When you're tight, the easier way is to bring like the outside of your hip and the outside of your thigh to the wall, and then you're gonna spin. Let's go this way. We're gonna go right leg up the wall. So we're going to spin so our right toes are up the wall like this. Come on. And then we're gonna step our bottom leg under like lunge. Yeah, we'll try it together. So right leg's going up the wall, left leg's out in lunge like this. The closer your knee is to the wall or to the floorboard, the more intense it is. The further your knee is forward, the more accessible it is. Now, when you come up, go slow. Sometimes I've never come up. I've stayed right here in this stretch. Other times I come up, hands to the bent knee. But when you come up, pull your belly button back. Because if I don't pull my belly button back and adjust my pelvis, I'm just going into my lumbar spine, my low back, and we surely don't want that. Quad stretch has already challenged the lumbar spine because it's pulling the front of the pelvis forward as we lengthen these muscles that are attached to the hip, right? So it makes this a challenge anyway. Now, here's where it really gets good. we want to get this outside quad, this lateral quad, vastus lateralis. So the way to do that is you're going to lift your right hip up, and you're going to try to soften your left hip down. And when you do that, you'll start to feel right here. Maybe the arms go up. That's beyond me. Yep. Maybe the thumbs go towards the wall. Yeah. Now pull your shutters closed. Yeah. You feel how it wants to go to the lumbar spine? You can't let it. You got to go belly button and shutters. That's one of the challenges in this. And then if the hands are up, lower them down. Then lower your front knee. Then lower your back. So you go out the same way you came in. Let's try side two. So if it's easier for you to just slide your leg up the wall like this, then just slide the leg up and then step under. But I showed you both, so if some of you that are tight, make it a little more easier, make it a little easier. And those of you that can just pop up, right? Whatever feels good. See, now I don't really rush, because right now my quads are kind of tight. When you're ready, come on up. I got to spend another day yesterday in a cloud of drywall dust. It's good, I can still taste it now. It sticks with you. No. Of course I am. Well, no, actually, I'm just wearing a mask. Took that off a couple weeks ago. That I wore the respirator for. Now remember the trick? Shaking, getting that involuntary muscle spasm. Here we go. Top hip down, bottom hip up. It's little, right? It's not this big move, it's little. And we start to access that lateral quad. Yep, and then those of you that want to go with the arms up, plug the shoulders in, right? Head of the arm bone, root it, and let the arms go up overhead. And now check, is the belly blowing open? If it is, pull it closed. The shutter's blowing open, pull them closed. Take the head and the throat back. And if the arms are up, lower them down. Then the front knee. Then the back leg. Nice, y'all. One of the holy grails of quad stretches, right? That and heroes. Those are the two big ones. All right, so let's do some inversions. I'll talk you through downward dog and L pose. You want to do handstand, headstand, tripod, any of your other pinch of Maya. We did shoulders today. You can work on that. All right, so as a matter of fact, if you want to, another little shoulder that we could play with is you could work your dolphin. Okay, so dolphin is going to be here. You got a couple different ways to hold your hands. Here, here, or here. All right? Therapeutic, neutral, muscle energy. I do this one, but just remember, seesaw. If this is going this way, which way are these going? And we can't let that happen, right? Because that's how we lose all the power. So make sure when you have your hands clasped, you're still doing this and you're hugging in. When you're in like your pinch or your headstand. So you could be here. You set yourself up. Whenever you're going to put your hand down like that, your one pinky is going to be underneath. You're going to move it like this. So now it's not getting crushed. All right? And then you're here. You're going to come back. Dolphins like downward dog with our forearms down. And you keep pushing the hands, the forearms down and forward, and take your chest back towards your toenails. And then you could even play with coming forward, shoulders towards your wrist crease, and pushing back. Then you could walk forward, and this is where you'd kick up towards your pinch of Maya. If you were doing your headstand, your head would be on the floor. All right, so if you want to work on your own on any of those, go for it. If you want to stick with me, we're going to go all fours, hands and knees, feet are touching the wall for downward dog and L pose inverted. Okay? So, if you're with me, all fours, hands and knees, set it up. Take a couple breaths. When you're ready, lift the knees and the hips, step one foot up the wall, and then the second foot up the wall. Remember, if you're at home and you don't have the wall, you're always welcome to go like on your back, interlace the hands behind the thigh, right? Take a bunch of breaths here, or do a pose that feels good to you. Same thing in the studio. If it's not your day to invert, legs up the wall, do a pose that feels good, right? Whatever's comfortable. Nice, y'all. Beautiful. So if it was my teachers back in the day, they would have been like Naeem. First thing he would have said is, that's a good way to lock those quads back up. That's the same shit he used to say to me all the time. And you know what you gotta be careful with that pose? That's a lot of internal rotation for you. So when that shoulder's feeling
Okay. I just want to see, I haven't done that in like,
with the blocks it's way easier, right?
Yeah.
Got a little bit of space.
yeah.
It's just that shape is
I know
so.
it allows you to get the feeling of resting on your upper arm,
Mm-hmm.
whereas it's harder to get that when you're lower. But I just want to see how it feels.
This would be the day when you just did a bunch of shoulder external rotation shit, right? I mean, that's gonna be the best challenge for you, right? Get it warmed up. Trina's pretty forthcoming. She teaches here. She lets everybody know she's got an injury in her shoulders, which is what we're talking about, right? We've been working on it therapeutically downstairs the past couple weeks because some of the stuff that she's been challenging herself with wants to unwind, right? The shoulder. I have a shoulder injury myself, so I know how challenging it is. Why some stuff I just don't really do, like those drop backs that y'all do, and out of those, I can't take the chance, right? So the trade-off is, if you do work to let yourself get strong, you can then challenge it, right? And that's the stuff that we've been doing. And she was talking about Titi-Basana that she's working on. And that's a challenging pose. But it puts the shoulders, since we're doing shoulders today, it puts the shoulders in a little bit of a precarious situation because you're holding everything up and you're in that internal rotation. And the shape has the upper back rounding. We just talked about this, right? This is a very big challenge for us. Now, in a perfect world, this ain't shit. But when we live in this world, it's going to be a lot more challenging. So what do? Do you never do that pose? No, today's a good day to try the pose because we worked all this and we opened all this and we tried to get back to neutral, right? So this would be a good day to do something like that. I'm geeking out with y'all, like we're talking just a little therapeutics, right? Are y'all inverted out? Yeah, okay. Let's go on our backs. No, let's go on our bellies. But that's the idea, right? Like you hear me say all the time, do the work and you get the result. Don't do the work, you don't get the result, right? It doesn't matter whether it's on the mat or in the yoga of life, right? That's just how it goes. That whole like everybody gets a trophy thing, maybe in intramural sports, but not life, right? Life is all about like you do it, you do the work, you get the reward. So we're gonna do some bow. Bend the knees, reach back. Grab your ankles, your foot. And remember, we already got the trophy, right? We're here. We made it, right? That's the trophy. Now you just got to work to polish that thing up. Now here's the deal. This is all about setting it up. So first thing is my knees want to do this. So I got to hug them in. Now I'm going to push my knees down for just this second. Now pull your belly to your spine and push your pubic bone down into the mat. Now your low back got real safe because it puffed up when the pelvis went neutral. Now look forward, reach forward, then let the chest come up. Yeah, so we go forward first, which makes the space. Then as we start to curl back, we work the back bend. Keep drawing your hands into your feet. Kick your feet back into your hands or your shins back into your hands. One more breath. Keep the control as you lower down. Take the hands underneath your head. Turn your head to one side. You could do these little butt wiggles, or you could bend your knees and do like a reverse windshield wiper. Yep, both feels good. Twists neutralize back bends. So like we were just talking about, right? We're going to do a twist after we do, or a neutral forward fold after a back bend, because that's going to bring everything back to neutral, just in case something tried to jump in there on us. We did our best to keep it from happening, but you know shit happens quick. All right, come to neutral. Inhale your head back to center. Bend the knees, reach back. One more. We'll talk and do it together. Hug the knees in, push the knees down, your butt comes up for just this moment. Belly button to spine, pubic bone to the mat, your butt came down. Look forward. As the shoulders go back, reach forward, lift the chest. Keep pushing your junk or your pubic bone down into the yoga mat. Breathe. And stay engaged as you lower down, swap the hands. So if the left was on top, right's on top. And then butt wiggles or reverse windshield wipers. Then come to neutral, roll onto your back. Hug your right knee to your chest. Roll towards your left hip. If it feels better to bend the knee on your bottom leg, feel free. If it feels better to reach out of the heel, go for it. Pull the belly in, pull the shutters closed. Inhale, come back to center. Hug that left knee in, take that right leg out. Back of the thigh to the floor. Roll towards your right hip. Keep the left shoulder rooted down. Belly in, shutters closed. One more breath. Inhale, come back to center. Take both legs out straight. Reach those arms up overhead. Take a big stretch. Feel all that space we made. Then hug those knees to your chest. Take those knees wide. Come to Happy Baby, Ananda Balasana. You can rock side to side. You can reach one leg out, both legs out, whatever feels good to you. But keep the knees wider than your shoulders. Keep your sacrum flat on the floor. So that means sit bones down to the yoga mat. They're going to try to fly to the sky. And then you're going to roll into your lumbar spine. We don't want that. It's too much rounding. So you see, for me, I let go of my feet. I can hold my feet. It's very edgy for me. Right? I actually feel like I make a better pose when I hold the outsides of my shins. But that's me. Where do you need to be? One more breath. And then inhale the knees to center. Exhale the legs out straight. We'll take Shavasana. Beautiful practice, crew. Feel free to add or remove layers or props. I'm going to talk everyone through laying flat, but you're more than welcome to do a variation. For the hip flexors would be two things. You can take the blanket or the block underneath the knees just to give a little bit of settling through the pelvis and through the low back. If you lift your butt up, push the fleshiness down towards your heels and then place your butt back down. And you'll feel that neutralization through the pelvis in both the back of the pelvis and the front. The arms come along the sides, the open palm to the sky, so the shoulders settle back. Let your head rest back, maybe let your eyes close. We now let that breath, or we let our mind turn back to the breath. The ebb and the flow, the release, the removal, and then the welcoming of something new, the change. This is the balance to our practice. Through those postures, we talked about the muscle energy and the expansion and the twist and the reach. Here, it's just the breath, the mat, the floor, the earth. We get heavy. We submit. Begin here to draw in a deeper breath. Feeling the breath wash over the body. Your toes to your fingers, to the crown of your head, through your heart. We reawaken that better version of ourselves. As that connection grows, the fingers and the toes wiggle, the arms and the legs reach or stretch, move in a way that feels good to us. Taking our time, moving slowly. When you're ready, you can hug your knees to your chest and just roll to the right side. Feel your hands push down as you come up to a seated position. We'll meet together with our eyes closed and our hands in front of our hearts. One more time to see you in our practice. Our time together with our Kula, our yoga family. Together, the sound of Om. Deep breath in. We softly bow our head to our hearts, our heads to each other's hearts.
For all that hard work and that determination, that challenge, the love and the support you always give each other,
It's to you that
I vow. Namaste. This is it. Before.
Home crew. You know, if you have any questions, get me before you go. Something feels weird.